Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Welcome back to class. This is Hidden Messages in Media. Today we're going to be going over one of my favorite topics, which is the emotional manipulation that the news instills on viewers. All right. If you don't have the workbook, there is a link below to the Canva thing. If you want a PDF, just email me at ascendingwithashley@gmail.com and I will email you a PDF. All right. I'm using my computer because I think it would be a great idea to pull up some examples. So let me just do that quick. But yeah, if you want to follow along, this is the page in the workbook or what it looks like, except yours, the font is black. I don't know why this printed white. Probably because I printed it in black and white, but I don't, whatever, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, I think looking up some news about LA fires would be a great example of this. Okay? Another great example of this that I will also pull up is when Luigi did his thing. Because I remember that day specifically, I heard some of the news the day that the actual shooting took place. I heard some of the way that the news, and it gave me the ick, like really bad. So let me pull up some of those. Also, I am experiencing technical difficulties and being censored pretty hardcore. News coverage of Luigi, no, of, they didn't know it was him, that CEO, United Healthcare. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll use those two examples to begin with. I'm going to stay in the country. I don't think going internationally would be great right now. What I am going to do is read through all of these words because that's what these are. These are adjectives. An adjective is a word. I got a new ring light. It's on the way, so we'll go back to this side when that comes. I have to use the big light for this. Okay, so adjective is a word or phrase naming an attribute added to or grammatically related to a noun to modify or describe it. Okay, very important. So the emotions that the news, we've talked about emotional manipulation like all the time. But one thing that the news does, right? We're talking like big network news. I'm not talking like individual journalists, but depends on who you're looking at, because if they're paid by big news, then yeah, they're going to also use that language. So this says, adjectives are description words used to elicit certain emotional response for social control. That's not what I added words. Anyway, what I like to do, or what I did when I was first coming into this knowing, was I would watch a segment and tally the adjectives that were used. And so I'm going to go over these lists. And again, this is available for you on Canva, so you can like take a screenshot and keep it in your, I don't care, whatever you want. Okay. To instill fear is the most important, because when people are fearful, what in Hunger Games they say, the only thing stronger than fear is hope, right? And you don't want hope. Okay. President Snow says that at the very end of the series. Okay. So to instill fear, dangerous, terrifying, horrific, petrifying, grim, awful, hideous, cruel, disgusting, appalling, alarm, angst, panic, concern, awe. I did use a thesaurus for this. Dismay, despaired, like despair. Anyway, scared, uneasy, worry, faint-hearted, trembling, distress, misgivings, qualm, I don't even know what that means, cowardice, timidity, it sounds like titty, anyway, moving on, abhorrent, and aversion. Okay, ooh, spooky. No, I'm kidding. All right. Anyway, okay, here we go. To criminalize. All right, so if they're, we'll check this with the Luigi, and also the way that they're covering the looters in LA. All right, illegal, corrupt, deplorable, scandalous, vicious, unlawful. Ugh, I've heard that a million times. Senseless, illegitimate, I'm going to add terrorist, which is not on this list. All right. If you want more on that, like I always say, watch V for Vendetta. It gives you that way. V for Vendetta is also a great way to follow up with this lesson because, again, for the millionth time, the way in which the movie is put together, it gives you a great understanding of how the powers that be utilize media for social control, which is exactly what we're talking about, okay? And you don't have to watch the whole movie. You could just type in V for Vendetta, and we might do that together. Okay, we'll see. To isolate, okay? So, like, think back to quarantine time, okay? And the way that they were reporting, okay? Confined, detach, disconnect, disengage, segregate, divide, separate, abstract, divorce, sever, secluded, and quarantined. For nostalgia, if they want to get you to have like a more sympathy, memories, longing, remorse, sentimental, remnants, longing, homesick. To arouse, yes, they use this language as well. Awaken, stimulate, provoke, stir, instigate, alert, agitate, animated, call, electrify, thrill, challenge. To overwhelm you, crush, defeat, destroy, engulf, overrun, overwhelm, destroy, damage, consume, maim, erasure, extinguish, smash, and annihilate. Anyway, all right. I'm not saying they use all of these words, but I am saying when you hear them and when you're doing the tallying, the fear column is the utmost importance because they're always instilling fear. These motherfuckers are fear mongers, okay? As well as warmongers, all right? That's what continues to feed the military-industrial complex, all right, ultimately. All right, to instill sadness, when people are sad or in misery, they're also very easy to control, okay? Sad, petrifying, trying, depressing, heartbreak, dreadful, awful, grim, awful. Why is awful there twice? You know, I'm coming up with a lot of spelling errors on my work. So anyway, happiness isn't a lot, but you know, every here and now and then they will throw in happiness just to avoid people coming after them. Okay, bliss, contentment, joy, well-being, prosperity, happy, and acceptance. When they want you to accept something as truth, this is very important. Okay, admission, acceptance, recognition, cooperation, acquiring, green light, securing, and receiving. Okay. Now let's listen to, I'm just going to pick one at random. I want to do one from LA though. KTLA is what we always watched in LA. Let me make sure okay, let's see. All right. Let's just do. Oh, here's a live one. Oh, that's a press conference. Been to enough press conferences in my day. I'm good. I don't need to do CBS New York. Whatever. Let's see what New York's saying about this shit. Hang on.
I love my...
You're gonna make me do I'm in class, bitch. Don't make me watch a commercial.
Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
You don't know Monday.com? This
What?
is Monday.com. It's a platform that helps us...
You do not know.
Breaking now at 11, 16 people confirmed dead in the California wildfires as new evacuations are ordered. Tonight, new fears the massive fires will only continue to grow. Good evening, I'm Jessica Moore. At this hour, there are 4 major fires burning.
Okay, and you hear her tone, too. Tone is incredibly... 4 fires burning! Right? Like, the ways in which they... What's this word?
Across Los Angeles, together.
Okay, let's just watch it one more time. Hang on.
Breaking now at 11, 16 people confirmed dead in the California wildfires.
Okay. Dead is not on here, but that's a pretty great way to instill fear. I'm gonna add it. Dead. Okay, so they started off, first fucking thing, before she even says anything else. 16 deaths, right? And this is in New York, so they're still trying to get a rise out of people, all right? Yes, it's important to recognize that. I'm not trying to discount the death. I'm talking about the way in which the news is putting this together, right? Because they very well could have gone with a more sad frame, but they didn't. They chose fear, as in, we're gonna let you know right away that people died, right? Same thing fucking Disney movies do. We'll get there. All right, that's in a couple weeks. But they give you that big tragedy immediately to just make you kind of sink in. And then you're like in that state of fear, right? Because you yourself, depending on what you've been through, will go into a fight or flight when presented with the right key word, okay? Very important to understand this. If your heart might start racing, right? This is for New Yorkers. That's the farthest city away from LA as possible, and it's still how they're reporting it, okay? This is CBS. All right, so that was how many seconds? 5 seconds, okay? Within 5 seconds, you're already overwhelmed with how much death there has been in something that does not involve you, okay? Meanwhile, they're showing pictures of the fires, right? Okay.
As new evacuations are
new
ordered
is a good
tonight.
one.
New fear.
New evacuation orders, okay? New evacuation orders, all right? What are we at? We're at 9 seconds, so that was a 4-second clip, okay? So not only have 16 people died, but now there's new evacuation orders. Do you feel your anxiety kind of like, what the fuck? All right. That's done by design. Okay. Now this is fun. We're not watching very much.
Fears the massive fires will only continue to grow. Good evening.
The massive fires will only continue to grow. All right. Like there's no other option. Like no one's working on this, right? Like incarcerated folks aren't trying to put these out, right? Okay. And how long was that? That was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4 seconds. Okay, so within that's 13 seconds altogether that we just watched, okay? Holy fuck, 16 people have died. There's new evacuation orders. What do I need to do? You're in New York. You need to sit your ass down and chill out, right? Okay? And what was the other one? The fires were just going to keep going. All right, you guys understand how they're doing this? Okay, this is so much fun. I'm so happy you're here nerding out with me. All right, let's go to, I think, well, let's just let this play. I'm not going to analyze it anymore. Just listen, okay? This is Blink-182.
I'm Jessica Moore. At this hour, there are 4 major fires burning across
I also think they all have fake names.
Together, they have destroyed more than 12,000 structures, devastated entire neighborhoods, and sent tens of thousands of people fleeing for their lives. And with new worries, the fires will spread into other parts of Los Angeles County. Officials plan to shut off power to some locations. We have team coverage of the deadly fires tonight, including details on how the weather over the next few hours could affect the firefight. Let's begin with Ashley Sharp, live on the ground in Los Angeles. Ashley.
Yes? That's funny.
Jessica, we've been chasing the Palisades fire line all afternoon as the largest of the fires continues to grow, but we just wanted to take a step back and show you what the fire has left in its path. This is the Pacific Palisades community where home after home block after block looks just like this. As the Los Angeles skyline sparkles behind me, what sits above it is a ghost town.
Sparkles behind me, what sits above it is a ghost town. Sparkles and ghost town within one sentence. Incredible work. Okay, we're moving on. I want to go to the Luigi coverage quick of that day. Oh God, I remember it being so... I'm not trying to make light of any... I think it's very important to get information. What we're doing here is just letting you know the ways in which these powers are keeping people in an emotional response, right? Because when you're in an emotional response, regardless of the emotion, and this works for interpersonal, that's why narcissists work the way they work, right? And I mean, this whole entire system is narcissistic. So that's kind of easy to think about. BT Dubs, I believe that Luigi is being framed. I don't think he did this shit. I think that the powers that be saw the response and needed someone to incarcerate immediately. That being said, let's go ahead and watch this one. This one's also from New York. I didn't mean to do that.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs.
Get some Eggland best.
So delicious. With better nutrition too.
Really?
For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best.
Ads also use this emotional manipulation, so keep an
It's
eye out.
around 6:44 a.m.
Just listen.
local time on December 4th in New York City.
So now we're doing a recall.
Authorities receive a call. Gunshots fired outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
Got a male shot outside of the hotel. No prep description at this time.
The CEO of one of the biggest health insurers in the country was just gunned down in the middle of Manhattan.
Gunned
What
down.
would later be identified as a targeted hit. A manhunt is underway for the gunman.
Manhunt.
But here's what we know so far.
Gunned
about the suspect's
down.
movement before and after the killing. It's December 4th, around 5 a.m. local time, nearly 2 hours before the shooting, and the suspect is seen outside this hostel on West 103rd Street on the Upper West Side, according to surveillance footage reviewed by local authorities. Police later released these images of the suspect, whom authorities believe is seen flirting with a desk clerk in the hostel lobbies days before the shooting.
Wow.
6:15 a.m. In this
It's
surveillance
interesting.
footage,
Okay.
police sources tell
Sex
ABC
appeal is not
the
something that we're
individual
covering here, but
appears
that's interesting. That they threw that in. That's an interesting thing to throw in. Hang on. I want coverage from that actual day. From December 4th of... Yeah, this. I don't want all of this 2020 bullshit. Hang on. Nightly news full broadcast for December 4th. Let's try this. It's probably
Good
gonna be...
evening and welcome. There are chilling new details tonight
Chilling.
following
Ooh.
what police say was the premeditated murder of the CEO of United Healthcare
Chilling.
on the busy streets of Midtown Manhattan early today. A warning, the images we're
Warning.
about to show you are graphic and you may find them upsetting. Surveillance video.
But not genocide.
captured the moment Brian Thompson was approached from behind by the shooter. His outstretched arms leveling a handgun at the victim's back. Police say Thompson was shot at least twice. The Minnesota man was pronounced dead at the hospital. The suspect taking off on an e-bike and remains at large.
That was not a good
Thompson's
move,
wife
by the
telling
way.
NBC News her husband had recently received threats, but police say the motive for the attack is unknown. The brazen murder taking place only a few blocks from where thousands are gathered
Brazen.
tonight for the Christmas tree lighting at Rockefeller Plaza. Police promising
Okay,
there will be
this is
high
a very
security.
important piece right here.
Stephanie Goss joined.
High security. These are great words. All right, brazen, high security. I think the most important thing too about this Christmas tree lighting, and this is the thing that they always do, and this is why Viva Vendetta is really important, is because the terrorist is always outed. No, othered. Othered is the meaning. Niall's coming, so I'm going to end it here soon. But what I want you to know is that they're always going to other, and that's what they did right there with thousands of people are going to be at this Christmas lighting, but this person is still about, right? Like, making people feel like they're in danger. Again, with what we saw in the New York broadcast, but they're talking about LA, but like the people watching that are going to feel that fear, right? That fear is being instilled. So let's just go over a couple of those words. Chilling, dead, warning, brazen, high security, all right? And the way in which they other that person, right? Again, watch V for Vendetta. But again, we'll cover that in this class. I've already done a Monday movie about V for Vendetta, and I just put everything on playlists. Next week we're gonna explore old school TV, and talk about race, class, religion, and political correctness in TV pre-social media era. All right, a lot of control happened in those times. Have a good one. I'm gonna put I'll put these clips that we used in the description box below if you'd like to watch them on your own time and go over them again. And I will also put the Canva link for the workbook. Other than that, thanks again for being here. Thanks for doing the work, and congratulations on being awake in a society in which does not want you to be. Have a good one.